I didn't get you right.
Martha Karua just tweeted, it's not over until it's over. How will you respond to a contested election outcome?
This election, to the best of our knowledge and understanding, is over. We have had a wonderful time. We have gone through the whole process. And in this election, like in all other elections, the outcome of the election is declared by the returning officer. It is not declared by the commission. The same way all other elections of MCAs, of members of parliament, of governors, they are declared by the returning officer for that election. The returning officer for the presidential election is the chairman of the IEBC, Wafula Chebukati, in this case. And Wafula Chebukati has discharged his constitutional responsibility and declared the results of the presidential election. Any person with issues about this election, they know what to do. It will not be the first time. We are a democratic country. We have built robust institutions that can undertake the resolution of any issue if anybody has. Whatever person, whether they are the other commissioners or other Kenyans or my competitors, whatever issues they have, they know what to do.
Mr. President, I'm Frederick from NTV. Almost half the country voted for you. The other half did not vote for you. What are you going to do to the other half? Are we going to see a new handshake?
I think when you go to an election, the outcome is determined by the people of Kenya. In this case, the people of Kenya have voted for me as the 5th President of the Republic of Kenya, an honor I don't take for granted. Like in all other democracies, Kenya is not an exception. The people of Kenya have spoken, and we need to respect what the people of Kenya have said. My competitors have a role to play, just the same way I said in my statement this evening, that I will work with my competitors in the role that the Constitution assigns the people in the opposition. They will provide oversight over my government, and I intend to work with them in that capacity. I never believed in the handshake stories. I made my position very clear because I believe in democracy. I believe in a government that has checks and balances. When you have a government that does not have the opposition, you run the very high risk of having a government that is not accountable. Precisely what we have seen over the last 4 years, that we have had a situation where people who are supposed to be in the opposition are actually running matters in the executive. And that is why the people of Kenya voted for me and my team. They want a government that has checks and balances. And they want a government that is accountable. They do not want a mongrel of a government that nobody knows who is in the executive, who is in the opposition, who is doing what. I think the people of Kenya want clarity because we are Democrats. And for the record, in this election, just to answer what you have said, if you look at our TV screens, the celebration is across Kenya because I got 25% in 39 counties out of 47 counties. That tells you that our support base and the people who voted for us are across Kenya. So there will not be any part of Kenya that will be left behind in our administration, because we believe in an inclusive, democratic, progressive government. And that is what we intend to assemble.
Mr. President, have you had any conversation?
Relax, relax. Don't. I'm here. I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah. A quick one. You talked about the support that the president has given you in the last 10 years. Has he commented to you about your victory? And number two, what is going to be your immediate assignment now that you've been given that mandate?
I haven't talked to Uhuru Kenyatta, our outgoing president, but I am sure there will be a conversation, because now I am the president-elect, and there has to be a transition. And in that transition, I am sure there will be a discussion between the current president and myself, either at the transition committee situation, or I am sure that at some point this evening, maybe tomorrow, we will have a conversation. Again, as a Democrat, maybe I should disclose that this morning I called my competitor, the Honorable Raila Odinga, and I had a discussion with him. And we agreed that whatever the outcome of this election, we should have a conversation. He had offered in his statement, his closing statement in Kasarani, that he would be available for a handshake, you remember? And I said that I'd be available for us to have a cup of tea, because there are areas we can agree on moving the country forward in the context of those of us who will be running the executive. And I'm sure my competitor will take up his role and his team as the opposition, so that we can see how we can move the country forward.
The second question.
Let me listen to the lady. The lady first.
Thank you, sir. My name is Leila Mohammed from NTV.
Yes, Leila.
At the moment, we see celebrations, but we are also aware that in certain areas there are protests against your declaration of being the president-elect at this particular moment. How do you speak to the entire country in your vision of uniting the people who have a past of being disenfranchised?
As I have said, my support base and my team's support base is broad. We obtained 25% of the vote in 39 counties. That leaves only 8 counties. And even in those 8 counties, it's just that we didn't make it to 25%. It doesn't mean we didn't get any votes. So we have supporters across Kenya. I also want to state here and now that the administration, President Kenyatta and I established in 2013, we tried the best we could to serve all parts of the country equally. If you look at all the programs we ran, whether there were programs on rural electrification, whether there were programs on Tibet, whether there were programs on equipment for hospitals, whether there were programs on making sure that we spread infrastructure, we endeavored to reach every part of Kenya. That is our philosophy. As I have said, we believe in an inclusive government. And in any case, the people of Kenya have spoken very loudly in this election. And they have spoken against negative ethnicity. In fact, in this election, the people of Kenya have raised the bar on leadership. leadership of Kenya. The people of Kenya have voted for a plan, as we christened it, or a manifesto, or an agenda for that matter. And if you had the discussion in the campaign, it was our issues versus our competitors' issues. And we intend to keep it that way. And for your information, if you looked at my position, about 3 years ago, I actually made the declaration to the people of Kenya that this election, we are going to make it not about leaders, but about the people. Not about power sharing, but about empowerment. And not about positions for us as leaders, but about jobs for ordinary people. If you go back my tweets, I think in maybe 2019 or 2020, that was my position. And I am very proud that we have managed to elevate the contest in Kenya to the level of issues. And because we have elevated that conversation, it is my belief, my commitment, and my undertaking to the people of Kenya that we will have an all-inclusive government by way of representation and by way of making sure that we roll out our programs across Kenya.
President, you take over a government at a time when people are hungry. Some people are angry. The cost of living is high. We are coming from the COVID-19 pandemic. So what is your priority right now? What do you tell the many people who cannot put food on the table? What do you tell the young jobless people who queue to vote for you?
That's why I said in my acceptance speech that I am acutely aware of the situation where we are as a country. I am aware of the cost of living. I am aware of the situation with the young people of our country. And that is why I made those very pertinent issues part of my campaign and part of my platform and part of what we intend to do as an administration. These are issues that are dear to the people of Kenya. And that's also why I said we do not have the luxury of arguments left, right, and center. We intend to hit the ground running. I am preparing myself that on day one of swearing in as president, when I have the legal power to do things, I have lined up a couple of executive orders on what I intend to do to get the country moving and to get the situation in the country under control.
President, you, at this point, as you are elected president at this point, we recall the 2017 that the courts have precedence, despite the fact that you are saying it's over. In the spirit of democracy, should your competitor move to court, are you in any ruling that maybe a run or repeat of elections, democratically, will you respect such a decision? Should it come your way at this point?
As I have said, I'm a Democrat. I believe in the rule of law. I respect all our institutions. That's why our team, as you observed in Bomas here, wanted to give the IEBC as an institution the opportunity to discharge their mandate. Our competitors, I don't know whether they share with us that kind of belief. But as a Democrat, we will respect, just the same way we have respected the wishes of the people of Kenya in this election, we will respect every other decision of any institution because we are believers in building our institutions. And we are strong believers that it's only the rule of law that can take this country forward. Yes, Gashuri?
Yeah, congratulations. What would, in your opinion, be the highlights of the campaigns that you've conducted? And to Kenyans, millions of them who witnessed the scenes that we saw at Bomas just before your declaration as president-elect, and maybe they are anxious tonight, what would be your message to them?
I think the highlight of this campaign was the fact that for the first time, this campaign was not laced with ethnic, regional biases. That both teams, on our side and on their side, were largely had a national face, largely, which is really a step in the right direction. And the fact that we prosecuted issues that I am convinced that the reason why the people of Kenya voted for me and my team is because they identify with the issues that we prosecuted. What happened this evening is an unfortunate situation. I think it is an attempt by our competitors to roll back what we have achieved as a country. I think Kenya has moved way ahead of the situation that we saw this evening, the unfortunate situation we saw this evening. In fact, I think every Kenyan, irrespective of what side they support, agree that the conduct of the IEBC in this election was phenomenal. I think, as I said, the posting of the results of from 34A, the presidential results, from every place, every polling station, every polling station, the posting of those results from every polling station was a stroke of a genius. Because I think within six hours of the counting of the votes, I think almost 80% of the results were available on that portal. And I am yet to come across anybody who says that what they saw in the portal is not what was declared at the polling station. There is not yet a single person who has said, I was in this polling station, what was declared is not what is on the portal. So I think the fact that the portal was available for every Kenyan to tally the results, first to check the veracity of the results. If you voted in polling station X, you would go to the portal and that polling station X would show you whether those were the results that are declared or not. And secondly, the fact that the IEBC has taken time. We voted on Tuesday. Today is Monday. They took time to accommodate as many people as possible, whatever issues they may have had. I think the IEBC has really bent over backwards to accommodate everybody. And unfortunately, I think there were people who did not want these results to be declared because, surely, even as we came to Bomas, it is only somebody from the moon who did not know the results. Let's be honest with one another. All of us here, with a simple calculator, just with plus and minus, you tally the results. You didn't need a complicated, you didn't need algorithm, you didn't need square root or all those other complicated things. You just needed a simple calculator and you could add, and the elections were, I think every institution or every organization that bothered to tally the results came to the same conclusion. Whether it is Reuters, whether it is Al Jazeera, whether it is NTV, whether it is Citizen TV, and all these other people, everybody arrived at the same results. So I don't really know what the argument is all about. When we came to Bomas, I think everybody knew the results. So we just came to fulfill a constitutional mandate that it has to be declared by the chairman of IEBC. Otherwise, in terms of results, surely good people. All of us knew what the results were.
President-elect?
Yes.
May I ask a question?
And then we'll come back to this lady.
Yes, I have two quick questions. The first question is this. Do you intend to keep your promises of the campaign trail? All of them. Do you intend to do that? And the second question is, from where you sit right now, is this your vindication that everything is possible?
Well, if I didn't believe in what I went out to canvass with the people of Kenya, I wouldn't have gone out there. I intend to keep every commitment, and my team and I have worked out on every detail of the commitments we have made. We have costed the commitments we have made. We have arranged them in terms of what is urgent, what is medium term, what is long term. We know what to do in the first 100 days. We know what to do in the first 3 months. We know what to do continuously until I think we have a program up to the second year. So we intend to keep all our promises. As I speak to you this evening, we have indicated that it is not the deep state and the system and all these other stories. It is the people of Kenya who ultimately hire or fire governments. I think that is the vindication that we all have arrived at. I remember the biggest question that I used to be asked by my supporters is, we are going to vote for you, but we understand there is a system under deep state that will not allow you to be president, that will steal your vote. And I kept on assuring them that I was the deputy president. If there was a deep state, I would know. If there was a system, I would know. And I think today, all the narratives around the deep state and the system have come to naught. I think people now know that it is the power of their vote, as is provided for in the Constitution, that the people of Kenya, they have their vote is what is sovereign, is what determines whether we have a government or which type of government and which type of leaders and who gets elected. It's the people. I think, bottom line, not that there were no attempts. I think with the time, you will know all these games that have been going on around Bomas. I think that will come out with the time. But ultimately, the people of Kenya have been vindicated that they are the ones who decide. Yes, madam. Sorry. Just one moment.
Mr.
I'll come to you.
My name is Njeri Kigamba from Kyoto FM. When you had the debates, you talk about the insecurity in some parts of Rift Valley, and you try to help and solve the insecurity issues. Now being the president-elect in the Republic of Kenya, what plan do you have to solve the issue completely?
We have a costed, time-bound plan on how to secure Kenya, especially the areas along the Kerio Valley, between Baringo, West Pokot, Elgeyo Marakwet, Samburu, Turkana, which are the real problem or hotspots, if you allow me to call it. We have a clear plan on what we need to do in that area. And as I have told you, we have arranged them in terms of what is immediate, what can be done now, and what can be done further down the road. And we will shortly be letting the country know the steps we are going to do to keep our commitment to the people of Kenya, and of course secure the lives and property of Kenyans. That lady has been, just one, sorry.
You have said that the conduct of the Electoral Commission was we have seen this evening that 4 commissioners have dissolved the outcome of the presidential election. They say that the process was opaque towards the end. What do you make of that? And how do you feel being declared president-elect in the environment that we witnessed in that auditorium today?
This election, to the best of my knowledge, and I believe a majority, the largest majority of Kenyans, know that there was no other outcome of this election. It didn't matter who was looking at it. And maybe we encourage those commissioners and even other Kenyans who have issues with the election. They know what to do. They need to follow the constitutionally provided legal channels of addressing their concerns. So what I am very happy about is that this election was the most transparent ever conducted in the Republic of Kenya. And I believe majority of Kenyans share those views with me. I think even, as I said, even as we came to Bomas, I mean, everybody knew what the result was, you know. Maybe the people who are disappointed this evening is the people who erroneously believed in the deep state or the so-called system. And they erroneously believe that the results could be changed. Unfortunately, it's not possible to change the results, and it's not possible to change the will of the people of Kenya.
So final, the IEBC, do you think that places any legal question mark on your declaration as president-elect? And you mentioned that you think that the scenes of chaos we saw this evening were designed to roll back your victory. Can you explain to us how do you think, what do you think the intention of those scenes were that they might force you to roll back this election victory?
No, I said that the scenes you saw this evening, not a rollback of my victory, because my victory is in the public domain. I think to roll back our progress as a country, you know, since we slipped in 2007, we have made a lot of progress as a country. In 2013, in 2017, in 2022, I think we made huge strides in the right direction. And so I think it was an attempt to try and take us back to where we came from. The people of Kenya made a commitment that we won't go back. And I am persuaded that we will not go back. We will go forwards from where we are today. The 4 commissioners, when you say they are a majority, the people of Kenya voted. The commissioners are not supposed to vote. They're just supposed to declare the results. And it's not the commissioners to declare the results. It is the returning officer. So legally, constitutionally, the 4 commissioners pose no threat at all to the legality of the declaration, because the Constitution is very clear. The returning officer declares the results. The returning officer this evening, Wafula Chebukati, declared the results in accordance with the Constitution, in accordance with the law. Any other thing is a sideshow.
Can you tell us something about the economy?
Maybe I can listen to this lady one.
You've accused media of being biased. You've accused.
Let us not go there.
Yeah. What I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
The fear by the losers is that you'll be vindictive. Some have said they will flee this nation. You'll become the president of this nation. What assurance do you have that you'll not be vindictive?
I think those are figment of imaginations of people who are running away from their own shadows. As I have said, we do not have space and time to go backwards. we want to move the country forwards. We have huge responsibilities. We have 5 million young people out of school, out of college. They don't have jobs. We have 4.5 million people who cannot put food on the table. We have a serious famine situation in Kenya. We have issues of health. We have our hands full. We have no time whatsoever to go asking people, what did you say? We don't have time for that. I mean, those are things that are behind us.
President, was this a referendum on President Kenyatta's second term?
The economy.
I think we have, let me say this. Let me say this. We are not ending this evening a conversation. I intend to engage you as media outlets going forward, because I believe in the freedom of the media, and I believe the media has a role to play. And maybe just to answer her in a way, let me tell you, when I criticize the media, it's because I believe in the media, and I want the media to do the right thing. I was told, let me repeat this story, I've said it so many times. When I came to Parliament in first time in 1998, I found a senior member of Parliament called Paul Muite. And he told me, young man, I was then 30 years. He told me the best way to support a government is to criticize it when it goes wrong. I remember saying the same things to our former Chief Justice, the Honorable Maraga, that when we criticized the media, when they nullified our election, it was not because we don't believe in the media, not the media, the judiciary. It's because we believe in the judiciary. So when we criticize the media, it's not because we have issues with the media. We do not want the media to be biased. And in fact, just to respond to what you said, when I raised that issue about the media being biased, the Media Council itself came with the statistics, and they actually confirmed what I had said. The Media Council said the media gave 67% of coverage to my competitor and 30% to me. That's biased. That's all I was saying. You know, so, and I think there has been some measure of improvement. I want to encourage you to keep. Continue to be even. You know, we want you to criticize us when we go wrong, criticize our competitors when they go wrong, balance your coverage, and let's have a free and fair media. My message to the great people of Kenya this evening is that I am immensely honored to be the 5th President of the Republic of Kenya. It is something I do not take lightly. I know that there are heavy responsibilities that comes with being elected into this office. My promise to them, and they know me, I work hard, very hard. I will work very hard not to let them down. The trust they have bestowed on me and my team, we will go out of our way. We will spare no effort. We will work around the clock to make sure that we deliver on our commitments and we move our country to the next level. And I want to tell each and every one of them, we will serve them equally, irrespective of who voted for us or who did not vote for us. This is going to be their government, it's going to be the government of Kenya, and it's going to serve all Kenyans equally.